part of me doesn't want to turn this music down. Is this free? Give them 10 more minutes. Get their wiggles out like a hyper dog. All right. Well, we have argued on Reddit all day. We have gone to work. Everybody's paid their dues. It is time to podcast. I've got strong coffee, no Monster today. This is in Colombia. This is the only place legal to have coffee this strong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caffeinated Cryptid podcast, formerly the Bobby Dizzle podcast. I am Bobby Dizzle. This podcast is a caffeinated adventure through Bigfoot cryptids, all things paranormal, UFOs, and whatnot. Sometimes I talk dinosaurs and science. Take what you get. We are live on Sundays and Thursdays, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all that available on bobbydizzle.com. Now, my guests, who I have hard muted, do not need introduction from me, but I'm going to introduce them anyway. The all-female squatching Sasquatch team, the She Squatchers, fresh off of an expedition. How is everybody doing? We got Jen, Jenna, Tammy, the Tardy Tammy.
Tardy Tammy.
Sounds.
You know what? I'm doing.
I was
not
liking it.
She wasn't. Tammy was a victim of me not having my screen maximized far enough. She was hidden down there under a tab. That's hilarious. So, I don't think I'm going to do the same thing. So tell us about yourself, because you have all those followers and no one's watching this anyway. So let's hear about that expedition you just went on. I want to hear. I saw the pictures. Watching. I saw you with Greg Yost and some other legends. You know, I have watchers. I'm just kidding. I'd like to be humble. You got to humble yourself to be exalted.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm Jen Cruz, team leader of the She Squatchers. This is my team, however they are. Jenna
move you around
and Tammy.
In rank.
Tammy.
Move you around in rank there.
There we go. We started the She Squatchers in 2015 after getting the basically a challenge from Lauren Coleman. He thought that women in the woods would be the recipe for success for getting closer and interacting with Bigfoot. So he thought without men, dogs, or guns. So that's what we try to do on our own. But sometimes we work with others. And like we just did a collaboration on a filming expedition. So we were out in Kentucky for a little while looking for the Pope Lick monster. And then we went off to see Squatch Man, our friend Greg Yost, at his hot spot. And we went from there onto a couple more places, well, 3 more places, I think. And so we've just had a great time. But let me just say hi to my teammates, Jenna Grover.
Hey.
And Tammy Trickle. Hi, Tammy.
Tammy?
Hi, Tammy.
Oh, Tammy.
I think Miss Tammy.
Sorry,
I
was
on
mute.
Tammy's got a lag.
Yes.
Okay.
That's hilarious. So you went and saw Greg Yost then, so that's cool. You got to see his forest people. I hear his stuff is always pretty active.
We had a great time there, and Jenna and I had been there before, but this was our first time not staying there all by ourselves. Because the first time that we went there, Greg met us out there, and he made us a fire and took us around and showed us all of his spots, and then he had to work in the morning, so he said goodnight and left, and it was just us two there all by ourselves. That was weird.
You stirred him up and left?
Yeah, he did. So this was our first time with him actually there all night, so that was pretty neat. And we had a really good time there. Really cool things happened, which we haven't been sharing pictures and video of online anywhere because it's going to be in a documentary. So we want everybody to watch it, but I think we can tell you a little bit about what happened, right? Can't we, Tammy? Tammy?
Uh-oh. Tammy, I think she's all lagged out.
Yeah, she's lagging. Look
You're
at this.
on mute, girl. You're on mute.
I'm just going to watch Tammy the whole night.
I know, right? It's almost entertaining.
Huh?
It's like she's watching from the Matrix.
She is. I don't know what you did to her in that back room, Bobby, but...
Whoa. My family could be watching. I don't know what happened back there, but she can't even see straight.
Online back room, mom and dad.
Backstage.
I mean, backstage.
He left her back there for I don't even know how long she was back there.
Left the car off and the windows up. She didn't make it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everybody in the chat.
And we got a few. We got a one by Roger who's watching from the hospital who can't turn his headphones up. And we got a couple more. I've had a bunch of people pop in and out because we started like 2 minutes late. So we had like the initial little pop ins and they came out.
Okay.
They'll be back. I'm not worried about them.
Right.
They always watch.
All right.
Well, Tammy's left now.
If I start dancing for no reason,
just watch that back room for her.
She's on ecstasy.
No.
Are you watching the back room for Tammy?
Oh yeah, I've got it. It's maximized now, so I can see her when she comes in.
Okay. Okay.
Let me ask you this while we're waiting on Tammy. Do you guys? And I know I was on your show a couple weeks ago, and I can't remember if we asked it, and I think I might have. But are you flesh and blood Bigfoot activists? What's the word? Like promoters, or are you like flesh and blood plus paranormal?
I call them camps. Like there's the flesh and blood camp. The
camps. That's what it is. Good Lord, yeah.
And then there's the everything else camp. And you know what's really cool about my team, and I have to say this with all the enthusiasm, is that we don't agree.
Really?
On what Bigfoot is, and that's okay because we all have a different idea, and we're all completely open to being wrong and finding out what it really is. And so I think if the three of us can do that in a very close-knit team, then the rest of the Bigfoot community can take our lead and work together with respect and love, just like we do.
Yeah, I'm in the Randy Bauer camp. I'm Team Randy. Whatever he says goes. I figure he knows more. Because his stuff.
Randy's awesome. Hi, Randy.
Randy's house.
Is Randy in here? Oh, maybe Randy will join in. I sent him the link.
Did you?
I was like, do you see something I didn't see? Where's he popping in at? Yeah,
honestly, I have to agree with Jen. It's nice that we don't all agree. And it keeps a person pondering. And you feel so good when something that you have thought of and feel connects to you comes out to be what other people are finding too. So it's really exciting. And, to think that we're part of something where we may be able to help find answers is so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're able to get out there and go into the woods. There's so many people who have said to me, they're like, I just don't believe he's real, or they're real, or this and that. And the only thing I can tell people when they say things like that is the only way you're going to know is if you go out and do it for yourself. You've got to find out for yourself. You can't, if you want to read about it, if you want to go online and watch about it, that's up to you. But really, if you want to know hardcore truth, your perception, how you're perceiving it, what you see, you have to go out there. You just have to do it yourself.
And it's like the only kind of scientific investigation you can do just at a national park in a tent.
Exactly.
You don't really need a ton of stuff. Tammy's back.
Tammy's back in town. Oopsies. I forgot about the singing.
Can we sing on your show, Bobby?
I hope so. Everybody else does. I don't see why not. I'll be on YouTube. I'll be on YouTube, but
She Squatchers,
nobody's popping.
Musical.
Yeah. She Squatchers.
Stop. I'll write it.
From the producers of Hamilton.
Yes.
It's gonna have a Black Panther guy in it, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace.
Oh,
Tammy, you still like you? Oh, there you are. Okay, for a minute you look like you were lagging again. I'm so happy to see you.
I am.
She hasn't said anything yet. Oh, she's still lagging.
You just rolled your eyes just now. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
it's very.
If we let her sit there, maybe she'll catch up. This show is just all about Tammy. Tammy's lag now. I'm just gonna sit here and watch it. Nope, she's over here. What are you doing now?
Yay!
Right, look at her. She's talking, but she's not. She's like one of those old shows. You are so silly.
No, she's like a kung fu.
Yes, I couldn't think of the word.
We haven't been together since our expedition. All three of us. We haven't been together.
How long ago was that? Like 6 weeks?
No.
It's been a while.
No. We got back. When did we get back, Jenna? When did we get back?
No, I mean before you left for your expedition. How long?
Oh, before we left. Yeah, it's been about 2.5, 3 weeks.
I know you left right after I was on your show not too long ago.
Tammy's clapping. You're so lagged, but it's so entertaining.
I know.
Oh my God, that was
Tammy's
scary.
laughing, but she's not laughing.
Oh, I love it.
It's like no one's laughing, but it is.
That's funny.
So let's get to some radio talk, some questions. What do you guys want to know? What do you want to?
Let's go to caller number 1.
All right.
I was going to tell you, I was meeting with. Have you ever met with like D.A. Roberts over at the Dogman Project? D.A. Ex Machina. They have a theory hypothesis that the wood knocks are from inside the head, and it's like a sonar thing, like an echolocation kind of deal. I think that's one of my favorite non-woo-woo Bigfoot things I've ever heard.
So closer to like, well, no, because bats are sonar.
Like an orca. Like an orca.
1 month ago, you were on the show, Bobby. 1 month.
There's Nikki.
Nikki Colin?
Yeah, Nikki Colin.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki. What's up, girl?
Hey.
I was just on her show Sunday night, I believe.
Aww.
Discussing the ins and outs of hoaxism. They were just like, you ever seen you ever seen Discovery Channel when they throw those big hunks of flesh to a bunch of sharks to get them come? Just they threw that Sasquatch Ontario mask to a bunch of Bigfoot researchers and just let them attack it. It was a feeding frenzy.
They were chumming the waters of Sasquatch.
Yeah, they took the picture of the Sasquatch Ontario mask, and the mask above the fence. Don't tell me you didn't see it while you were away. It's like you got a lot to catch up on.
We saw that before we went.
Yeah, but they put that up there and just kind of eat it alive. It was hilarious. I was like, ooh, that poor little fella. Like, why does he even do that?
Yeah, we try not to comment on things like that, just because we just don't want to play.
Yeah, it's probably for the best because it gives them.
Hi, I think Tammy's on drugs.
It says hi. I like how it says hi.
Thank you for the laugh.
It's Tammy's
she
responds
30 seconds later.
Tammy wishes.
It is entertaining. It does take away from the show.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like the kind of show you come on to talk about stuff that you don't have to do in the official channels, because I'm not like an official Bigfooter. I'm just an enthusiast.
An enthusiast.
So you can be like your bucket. You can say the stuff you want to and comment on other stuff and go down other rabbit holes, like your favorite cameras, things like that.
Yeah, I'm having a camera issue too now that
What's going on here?
I'm going to mute myself and stop the camera. Hold on.
This is Blair Witch Project.
See what you get. See what you get.
What's happening?
This isn't going to be one of those shows where the Bigfoot
Wendell.
come in and mess up everybody's stuff.
You never know. I'm fine.
It's happened before.
Working good, right?
Yeah, you're fine. We should have just made it a one-on-one.
No, I love my girls.
What happened? She's gone now. Oh, Wendell's back.
Yeah.
I was hoping I get more. I was hoping I get a lot of chat here.
Okay.
Oh, there she
what
is.
are the questions?
She made it.
So we're psychics out looking for Bigfoot. Does that make
Tammy
people
is
want to
not
ask
on
questions?
drugs, for the record.
Tammy wishes she
Yeah.
was on drugs.
Anybody got any question? Ask them in the chat. We'll throw it out there.
About? Huh?
Maybe later.
Oh, no.
Not at this time.
She does live in Virginia.
Oh. I got to come visit you, Tammy.
I do. Marijuana is legal here.
Which explains a lot. Is that how they found all the cocaine in the White House?
Well, they call it the White House for a reason, you know.
Here we go. Wendell's got one. Yeah, just if you have any questions, we can't quit laughing at Tammy. Just go ahead and ask him. Wendell wants to know.
Don't cry.
I know, right?
How many have we seen?
Yes.
Right.
How many have you seen?
Well, okay. So in the daytime, in the daylight, between Jenna and I, we have seen two different ones. And it was really, really cool. We weren't that far away. We saw it there for a long time. I'll tell you the story. So we were at Bobby's favorite place in the world that he wishes he could go, but it's 2 million miles away from where he lives. So
19-day drive.
So we were over at Randy's place and we just got there. Jenna and I had been amping our energy in the car like crazy. We were amplifying our energy with Reiki all the way, the last for sure 30 minutes of our drive to get there. We get out of the car, we bring our stuff into the camper, and then we start the walk with Randy and Mike. And we're walking down it's a power line corridor that's cut through the woods, right? You know what those are? And so we're we start the walk and we come up on the top of the hill, and I see way down the way, I see what looks like a Bigfoot just standing there out in the open looking at us. And I thought, wow, that looks like a Bigfoot, but that can't be a Bigfoot or Randy would be saying something. So that must be a dead tree. And so I didn't say anything, but I'm looking around. Randy's talking 10 million miles a minute, how fast he talks. And he's telling us about this and about that. And so I'm paying attention, I'm looking around, but my eyes keep going back to that dead tree way up yonder. It was 4 poles away, 4 power poles away on the power line corridor. And so we're walking, we're getting closer. It's still standing there. It still hasn't moved, still a dead tree. And again, I keep thinking, gosh, that sure does look like a Bigfoot, but that can't be a Bigfoot or Randy would be seeing something, that's got to be a dead tree. And we get up 2 poles close to it, still there, still standing still. And then Randy takes us into the forest off to the right to show us some structures that were built back there in the woods. We go back there. The mosquitoes were horrendous. We almost got carried away by the mosquitoes. And then we come back out and we walk up to this power pole where there's an electrical box right at it. And we look at the stuff that Randy's placed there. He makes little designs with little things on this power control box. And then he starts to show us the hair that's on the power pole right there. And he says that Doug Hychek from Monster Quest had taken some of the hairs and had confirmed that, yes, they were Bigfoot hairs. And so, but he left some on the pole. So we're looking at the hairs. I took a really close look at the hairs and I thought, oh, this is neat. And then I looked down the way again to check out the dead tree, and it's gone. It's gone. There's it's all gone. It's not there. It had walked away. And I was like, oh my gosh. And at that time that I was realizing it, Jenna was filming. She was up close and personal with the hairs.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead, Jenna.
actually had a camera in my hands, or no, my phone in my hands, and I was really focused on getting this hair. I wasn't listening quite to what everybody else was saying. I was just really focused on this hair, getting it nice in the picture, getting it nice and clear and great picture. And all of a sudden, my ears tune in to Jen saying that she saw something. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Because I had seen something too. And it was not super tall, but it was probably 7 feet, maybe 6, 7 feet. And Jen said, Jenna, because I told her, I said, my gosh, I said, Jen, I saw something too. And she goes, do you see it now? And I looked over and I was like, no. And it was just like, oh, it was a realization.
And it wasn't the same one we were looking at. I was looking at one on the left and she was looking at one on the right.
On the right. And that's what's so weird, because I thought maybe they were one was crossing and came from short into tall and walking bipedally, but I just, the more we talked about it, I think there may have been 2. There had
probably
to
more
have
than
been.
probably more than that if
color either.
That's true. That's true. Mine was dark.
And Randy asked me, well, how tall was it? And where was it? And I said it was by that white pole. There was only one white pole, which we were then 2 poles away from where we were at. So I'd started seeing it at 4 poles, and we got 2 poles away from it before it disappeared. And I said it was about as tall as that black part on that pole. And he said, that's 10 feet. There's this black wrapped around the pole so the squirrels can't climb the power poles. And he goes, I went out and measured that. That's 10 feet. And I was like, really? Wow, that's really tall. And so, but that's how tall it was, the one that I saw. And Jenna had seen a smaller one. The one I saw was like It was a dark brown, reddish color
Mm-hmm.
with a red tint. Dark brown, but had a reddish.
Yeah.
The color that wood looks like when it's really rotting.
Yeah. Like when it's starting to, right before it falls down, it looks like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the one that I saw was like dark. It was just dark. And that's why I thought it was like I don't know, another electrical box because Randy wasn't saying anything. So really, when we were walking straight and you'd think that he would see or everyone would see and no one's saying anything, you just think, oh, okay. And you keep walking because you assume that it is nothing.
Well, how long did you hold your eyes on it whenever you were looking at him at walking?
Well, that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
just
I didn't see him walking. My
no. I mean, when you were walking toward it, like
let's see.
2 poles. I kept looking at it. I was
I mean,
looking
you're-
around,
so
but
you-
I kept going back to it. 2 poles.
and that's
I
it's
didn't
just
stare.
just to have it in your just to have a Bigfoot in your eye socket. It's just it's crazy because I in my mind there, if you saw one, you'd say, oh, that's a bipedal, something. But
But your
then all of a
brain
sudden
doesn't want to make sense.
yeah, it doesn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what worries me about some of the evidence you see. I'm like, what if this is real? And like I'm just seeing somebody like what I was talking about earlier. We don't want to chum the waters, and I respect that because I don't want to give them credit either. You see some of the evidence. Like at least one of them has to be real. You see somebody just take a picture. Like if it is, we're looking at it and it's real right there. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. Kind of keeps me up at night. I'm like, what if you actually saw one? Like there it is,
But
10 foot away.
We've been
Don't
closer to Bigfoots before, closer than that.
But
Oh,
isn't
really?
it a beautiful experience to know
Mhm.
that we're not the only things out there that are, I mean, Jen, you smile. She calls me a hippie sometimes because I'm all about
Okay,
love.
hippie.
Yeah, I
I
took it.
want to braid Bigfoot's hair and put beads on it.
Oh, I'm not that much of a hippie, but I would
That'd
if he asked.
be kind of cool.
She doesn't even braid my hair.
I know. I will one day.
When you were close to him, was it at night when you were close to him?
Yeah.
Right during which? Oh, you mean that time?
Yeah.
Oh, you said you'd been closer to Bigfoot before than that.
30 feet. 30 feet. That was our thermal.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to ask how'd you not see them if they're 30 feet away, but you knew they were there?
Yeah. Well,
Had 'em in
we did a
thermal.
remote view. Okay. So we were in Tennessee doing a Bigfoot conference in Tennessee. And they had sold tickets for people to go out squatching with the Bigfooters, us and Matthew Dell from Micro. And Matthew we were going to his spot because it was his area. And I said, Mike, I said, Matthew, we really need the GPS coordinates so we can remote view the area. Just a second. Can you not do that right now, please? Thank you. So we asked for the GPS coordinates, and I don't think he really understood at that time that what we were doing or what would be about. So he didn't give them to me. And I ended up having like really bad bronchitis, and we didn't feel like I should be walking around hiking up a mountain that day because I could barely breathe. So the girls went, and I said, hey, send me the GPS coordinates when you get up there. So they did. And I was remote viewing from the hotel when they were up there. And so I'm marking all the spots where I'm seeing Bigfoots up there on the remote view. And so when they were done, we met for supper. And I said, all right, check out these spots. And they confirmed that they were seeing them there too. And so we decided that the 4 of us 3 and Matthew Delph, would go back up there at night. And so we drove back up this mountain, and we parked next to a spot where we had seen them on the remote view. And I grabbed my phone and I'm like, do I still have internet service here? And I did. And so I asked, is there any Bigfoots here right now? And I saw one on the remote view, and I used the Google Maps measuring tool. I'm like, 30 feet that way, 30 feet that way. And it was so dark, we couldn't see anything. But Tammy grabbed Jenna's FLIR thermal camera, which only Jenna really knows how to use all the buttons. Okay, I'm just going to say that. I don't know in the dark how to make everything happen in her magical equipment. So Tammy grabbed it, turned it on, and she started getting all excited. And Tammy, are you there with us in the moment? Can you tell the story?
I don't know. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can hear you real time.
Okay. Well, my camera's frozen, so all right. I guess it'll look whatever it looks like. Yeah, so I had the FLIR and they were still getting out of the car and I had turned it on and I was looking and there, 30 feet away, was a Bigfoot up against a tree. And to me, at the moment, it looked like he was sitting there and he had his arms up above his head and I could see all the hair hanging down from him. And it was amazing. And I'm sitting there trying to flip through to get it to record. And I'm just flipping through all the different settings on it, white hot, black hot, color, whatever. And I'm like, hey guys, how do I record? How do I record? We're not quiet at all up there. Not at all. And so we were up there and I'm finally, Jenna comes over and she hits the record button. We got 13 minutes of footage of this creature sitting there. It looked to me like he was like skinning an animal because whatever he had in his hand was warm. And we had Matthew go back up the next day and he said that maybe he was standing and there was like a ledge there that he was using as a table. But he saw us. We were definitely not quiet. He heard us. He let us record him and we just didn't even think to get any closer, but we got 13 minutes of footage and we actually took the camera off of him. He never like disappeared until we turned away after the 13 minutes to be like, okay, yep, we got that footage. And then when we went back, then it wasn't there anymore. So, but yeah, it was amazing.
Really? So it was gone that quick?
It's on our website.
Wow.
We got so much footage that we just were like, okay, we have enough. Thank you.
Yeah. Like how much full frontal Bigfoot footage do you need before you're just being selfish at that point? I think all of it.
Well,
it was
13
really
minutes
neat.
is about the amount of time.
It was really incredible.
So I'm going to help people find it so that they can find it more easily. If you go to shesquatchers.com and you click on blog, it's the first one. Just click to open that and then scroll down and you'll see some of the coolest stuff. And we've got the thermal on there. So we've got different videos and pictures on there.
And those of you watching after the fact, this is in the description. I'll put it in there in just a second.
Okay.
Cool. We do have a couple of questions. What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I'm just watching Tammy make her explanation without her.
Yeah.
It's quite entertaining. Thank you, Tammy.
This is for our hearing impaired watchers.
Oh
my gosh.
My computer screen is completely frozen.
Oh my god. You were scratching
so I'll be
yourself
just
for a second
surprised
there.
as you guys are.
That was her imitating
that must
what
be
she
where
saw
the long arm hairs were.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that makes sense now. How literal was that? It got hung on that part. That is
I can't wait to watch this later.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
You look like the sign language interpreter at like the Olympics. And it's what it looks like. Remember the guy from Mandela's funeral that didn't know sign language? He was just doing stuff, and they busted him like a week later. That's what it looks like.
Oh. Do we feel fear? Do we feel fear?
Here we go. I'll put it back.
Okay, so I'm gonna say I have felt fear, but not the time at Randy's and not the time when we did the thermal. But when we were, Jenna and I had found a den-like stick structure. It was really like a hut that was absolutely huge. And we went back there at night. Well, I shouldn't say that. We went back there during the day. And for whatever reason, we had the GPS coordinates. We knew exactly where it was. But for whatever reason, we walked up to it and were convinced that this wasn't the one. And we should keep looking. Now, it made no sense. It was it. It looked like it. Total confusion going on there. So for those in the paranormal weird camp of Bigfoot, that happened to us. And so we ended up walking around and wasting the daylight. And we walked all the way around it, came back from the back end of it. And I was like, and why didn't I think that this was it before? That's ridiculous. And then it was getting dark. So now we're there at dark and all of our equipment went dead really, really fast. All of it. And and that hadn't happened before. Like, I have this buku flashlight that takes a 6-month charge, and it was dead. It went
Ooh.
done. Um, it was a crazy night, and in the end, we had somebody with us who walked back to the truck because all of their stuff was dead and it was cold. And so here's Jenna and I, and all we have left are the 2 headlamps that I had in my pack, and I pulled those out. And then I also had 13% charge left on my phone. And that was it. And everything else was dead. And so I'm trying to film stuff with my phone. And every time I turned off the light, and it was middle of October, so all the leaves are crunchy on the ground, so any little movement, you hear it. Everything was silent, and as soon as they turned off the light and it's dark, you hear all this movement coming towards us, and we're like, turn the light on. I was freaked out. I gotta say, I was freaked out by that. Every time we turned off the light, stuff started moving towards us and coming closer, and I'm like, turn the light back on.
Yeah,
And
usually Jen has got it pretty much under control. She's very, solid as far as emotions, not letting fear get the best of her. But that was a scary situation.
Yeah.
I bet. Especially when all your equipment just stops working. That's
Oh,
got to be
no.
that's got to be so angering and scary at the same time.
Well, and Jen, wasn't there one light that was going on, off, and we have that on video?
That was my buku charge flashlight that does the on and off as it's starting to die. So
And she
it would turn
literally
off,
had,
and I would turn it back on.
yeah, but she had literally just been telling me how awesome this flashlight was. She was like, yeah, it's like awesome. It's so strong. I was like, yeah. And then that happens.
And then it was dead.
Bigfoot heard you saying that and turned it off for you.
Oof.
Well, it turned
That's
off
what they'll
everything.
do, man.
I mean, all
They'll
of
do
our
it.
cameras, everything, our night
Yeah,
vision cameras,
phones,
everything. The FLIR,
everything.
yeah.
Did the phones go off, or did they like fizz out
Battery.
like static and just
Battery was
drained
like, and I don't remember if it was like down in the red. Oh, it
I
was
had
so long ago.
13% left when that happened. I had 13%, and my headlamps were still fine because they were in my pack. I didn't have them out. And so, and I had brought an extra headlamp. I'm like, Jenna, I haven't had an extra headlamp for you. She goes, I don't need it. And I'm like, bringing it anyway. Aren't you glad?
Thank you, Jen.
That's crazy that they could just do that. That's the reason I get in that camp with our friend Randy over there. That they got something going on. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
something has something. Maybe it was Dogman. I don't know.
But Tammy always says you never know how you're going to react to being close to Bigfoot until you're close to Bigfoot, right? And I think our reactions have been different every time. Like when Tammy was there, we weren't scared at all, and maybe that's because Tammy was there.
Funny.
You were going to sacrifice her, weren't you? That's why she's around.
Right. It was a hill. Tammy was looking through the camera. She was focused on something else.
Now, when it made you get lost, like you were just talking about earlier, did it make you have any kind of sickness or a headache, or were you just kind of not disoriented but just confused?
We were very confused. I was insistent that we needed to walk deeper into the forest. Oh. We needed to go deeper, knowing that it was only 75 feet off the trail. I mean, ridiculous.
You would have been on David Pilates by the end of the night.
Right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Missing 411, the women edition.
When we were ready to leave, my little headlamps weren't very strong, so we couldn't see very far, and we couldn't see the trail. And I was so scared about walking the wrong way because we had been confused earlier. And I'm like, okay, lead the way, Jenna. And then she said, walking.
Jenna, tell me which way do we go? She's acting like she said it so nicely. Which way do we go? When we were out there. And so I said, okay, you know what? And I sat there and I said, we're going this way, because it's just, I followed my gut. And she goes, no, that's not the right way. And she turned around. And I was like, dang you. Don't ask me to tell you which way if you're not going to believe me. Well, it turns out, guess who was right? I'm just saying, yeah.
She was right. But my fear was that we were walking the wrong way and we'd get lost because we couldn't see. And so, you know how they say just stay put, right?
Hmm.
Don't walk deeper into the forest, right? So that's what I was thinking. So I called and I said, with my little bit of phone battery, I'm like, "Can you come closer to us with the light?" And then he came closer. So, and then
Hmm.
we were like 10 feet off the trail. We were 10 feet away from it. We couldn't see it. It was so dark. It's so
What if
dark.
Bigfoot starts pumping song lyrics into Jenna's head while you're walking through the woods? Like, what?
Right? Pretty
Yeah.
soon oh gosh, yeah. They don't even have to put music in my head. That shows up all by itself.
Don't
Jenna
Stop
lives in a
Believing is playing on
concrete
loop.
jungle in her head.
Don't make me sing it. Don't.
Do the Disney Bigfoot. But Disney
No.
Bigfoot.
No,
Come
I
on, do
can't.
it. Do it.
No.
The Disney
One
Bigfoot.
day I'll make my debut. It just about came out. No.
You know, you
No,
can't be
it,
from South Detroit. You be in a river. It's impossible.
oh,
Like, Don't Stop Believing.
oh man.
There's no
You
South
know,
Detroit.
usually everyone says things in somewhat of lyric. So when people are speaking, all I hear is like they'll say, "Don't stop," and I'll hear that song, or I'll hear, so it's really hard sometimes for me to focus.
Kind of like me when somebody says "Sweet Home,"
Uh-huh.
and I gotta be like, I don't.
Right? You have to stop yourself. Oh.
It's state law. Every time you hear that song, you have to find a Budweiser and slap your wife. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, come here.
Rewatch what just happened.
You have to
I'm
pound a
glad I'm not
Budweiser.
your wife.
Yeah.
No.
She's from here too, so she has to punch. She has to like shoot at me. It's a crazy thing. Remember how on South Park every time Cartman heard "I'm Sailing Away," he had to finish the song. It's kind of like that.
Oh yeah.
Every time he
Oh,
heard
yeah.
the lyrics, "I'm sailing away."
Oh, I haven't heard that for so
Yeah.
long. Oh,
We have
dang it.
another one
Stop.
from.
You guys
We
are
have
making
another
me
one
want to sing.
from. Well, I'm trying to read it. Sorry, trying to read and listen. Said have an awesome interview with Jen about the She Squatchers on the next edition of the Bigfoot Files.
Yay. Woohoo.
Y'all know what that means?
What?
Are you scheduled on something? Are we on the big?
I think that was a pre-recorded thing.
Okay, I was very confused that he didn't say like spelled something wrong. I'm like, am I reading it right?
Yeah.
I know he does the show or a article or something. So okay, I was
what's
hoping you
sad
knew.
is I do those kinds of things all the time, so
Mhm.
I can't even keep track.
Yeah, Lionel's from here too. He's just down the road. I'm trying to get him to be a co-host, but
Hey,
he's just a listener now, and he won't cross the plane.
what?
Yeah.
You gotta come on to the live show.
Yeah, he says he can't shoot the bull like I can. I mean, you just gotta kill yourself with caffeine, and you can't shut up, so it doesn't matter.
Right?
That's what I do.
It's all about being yourself too.
Yeah.
When I first started doing the radio show with Jen, I was nervous every time.
Mhm,
And I
at first.
realized that if you're just yourself, you don't have to be nervous. You can just go on there and be you, and it'll be okay. And
Mhm.
then don't read the comments. That's another way.
We get nice comments.
I'm just kidding, but I was just saying I don't read, a lot of the comments or anything. I don't go online a lot, so I'm not affected by a lot of the negativity out there.
We get nice comments on our shows.
Yeah,
We
I've never
do.
seen anybody
People are
been
very
like those She Squatchers are full of crap. Never seen. All your comments are always like real complimentary.
Right. No, people don't.
Com-
Well, if they do, I
complimentary.
haven't seen it.
That's
No, I
probably
didn't see it.
because we are ourselves.
They like our
and-
dancing. The dancing. We should talk about the dancing on the show. Because that was Jenna. She started the dancing and people commented that they liked it. So we started really dancing at the beginning of the show. And we invite our guests to dance with us into the show. And hopefully they do and not just look at us like we're crazy girls.
I love watching that part of I've gone through and watched nearly all your episodes, but just the first minute and a half.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just to watch the old men be like,
Oh, I know. People don't know what to do.
You could make YouTube shorts of just that shit. I would watch. But look at this guy. He wishes he was dead right now. This guy says this is a horrible decision.
Oh,
Actually, I can't remember who the guest was, but one of their followers came to watch the show and they were horribly offended that we were dancing because they thought we were making fun of him. And he's like, no, they always dance like this. at the beginning."
oh.
I thought you were making- What if you didn't know it was like a paraplegic You're just doing something.
I'll admit I'm a bad dancer. You can hear it straight from my mouth, but I still do it.
And it's that weird 1970s on hold music you always play. Boom, 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 boom. Remember that commercial on the Super Bowl where they're dancing to it? That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, that's
He's
so
behind
funny.
the couch. He's behind the couch.
Our music?
Yeah, you know how it's like that can. It's kind of a canned almost. It's like the better version of like an elevator song.
Okay. I didn't select it. My producer did.
Yeah,
And he just
you know,
put
it's
my
like
voice to it.
it's like royalty free
Yeah.
royalty free music. It reminds me of that Super Bowl commercial.
I recorded the intro and then he put music to it.
Yep.
That's
Yep. That's what the
Everybody always asks, "Who's that voice?" It's me.
yep. He goes, pop, 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 pop.
Yep.
Lionel also wants to know your outdoor pet peeve.
I'm gonna say Jenna. No, I'm kidding.
Jenna?
okay,
Jenna, when
excuse
she
me. I was
starts
just blowing
singing,
my nose.
No, I'm kidding. I
Yes,
think that
she can't
I
stand
hate
my voice.
mosquitoes and I hate ticks even more.
What?
Ticks
Oh,
are outdoor pet peeves.
yes. I didn't hear you. My bad ear.
you're trickier.
My trick
That's
ear. Very interesting conversations. Am I next?
Yeah, what's your pet peeve?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, it's
Jen falls
somewhat
down. That's your
what?
pet peeve? When Jen falls down?
When Jen falls down sometimes. I like to help her out. No.
It's not an expedition if I'm not falling down.
That's
And I don't hear
entertainment.
the laughter roaring behind me from Tammy.
That's so awesome. No.
That's laughter from Tammy. That's what I hear when I fall down.
Oh, that's so sad.
It
I'll
doesn't take
help
much
you.
to make me laugh.
It's a good thing. No, and one of my pet peeves is probably going to be somewhat along the same lines of as Tammy's, but I really don't like to see when people abuse the earth, when they're doing things intentionally, like, you know, you go to a campground and you see things that are just destroyed that shouldn't be. You see
Mhm.
things that have been written on, and it's like, you know, love the place you're in. This is your life. This is your place. Treat it well. I mean, we're literally healing from the earth. Use it. Love it.
There was a game warden up on the Tennessee and Alabama line in one of the big management areas, and he didn't care how many beers you drank while you were riding your 4-wheeler as long as you had all your cans with you.
Yes.
I was like, that's
that
an
guy.
American there. I don't care if you're drunk, son. Where's the cans? You better have your cans if you're drunk, or you're getting arrested for drinking and driving.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a weird trade-off, but they made sure to tell you have your cans on you.
And if you're out there in the middle of the woods, if you run into a tree, who's gonna hear it? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That was a dumb joke.
You become worm food anyway. Yeah.
So Tammy, it's your turn.
Tammy, what are your pet peeves in the forest?
Tammy will be with us in a minute.
I keep lagging so hard, I don't even know if it'll even make sense. My pet peeves outside. Yeah, humans, first of all, people leaving stuff in the fire pit rings. I cannot stand that. That is not a trash can. Please don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than
People throwing
that,
stuff in the fire.
probably I don't know, being abducted by aliens when you're sleeping.
that has to happen often enough that happens often enough for it to be a pet peeve. This is bullshit.
It's happening again.
I gotta work tomorrow. Come on. Take a sample.
Take me with you, Tammy.
I know, right? Let's all three go. Wouldn't it be neat?
Oh my god,
Okay.
that is a Saturday Night Live skit waiting to happen.
I'd go.
Take us all. We're so much better.
Oh, you guys! You went right there, didn't you?
Better together.
Jenna, you will never hear the end of it.
I say things with the kindest of purity thoughts. And these two turn it into rotten stuff.
That's all good intentions. All of a sudden, it's just turned into a.
That's what happens. All of a sudden, they're just like, and then they get
That's what
these
she said
eyes, and I see
contest.
their eyes change. You can just see perverts.
Have you seen that SNL skit with Ryan Gosling, Cecily Strong, and that blonde girl? God. But she's like, the blonde girl's on the end just smoking a cigarette, and her clothes are disheveled. She's like, that was terrible. And they're getting interviewed, getting abducted by aliens. But Cecily Strong and Ryan Gosling are like, they took us to the most beautiful planet with those beautiful people, and the energy was amazing. Like, they stuck it up my butt. She's
Oh no!
she's over there smoking a cigarette. What? She's like, what ship were you on?
I want to
Like,
watch that.
Like, they put me back in my bed. I didn't even know I was gone. They dumped me in pine straw.
I
This is
really
the
want to
funniest
see
shit.
this.
The fact that it's Ryan Gosling makes it funny because he can't hold it together. He's dying the whole time too.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna
That's
do
great.
tonight.
You have to find
Yeah.
that clip and send it to us, Bobby, please.
Oh, I
Will
will.
you?
Oh yeah, it's
Yay.
it's good.
All right.
Kate
Deal.
McKinnon. Yeah,
All right. I want to see it.
yeah. Her button's not even in the right button.
Got
She's
it.
funny. She made a good Ghostbuster for what that was worth. How many Bigfoot has Tammy seen? And or any Tammy stories?
One.
I mean,
I've seen one.
that's a substantial
when
amount.
I
That's a
was with
substantial
the
amount of
FLIR
big
on top of
feet.
the mountain in Tennessee.
I mean,
It's
it counts.
100% more than a lot of people have seen.
Yeah. What's the plural Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoot like deer and lamb, sheep,
Yeah.
fish? Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I always say Bigfoot.
I think
Bigfoots.
Bigfoot or
haven't
Bigfoots.
asked
I
him.
think it's both. Okay.
Bigfoot, big feet.
Bigfoot sounds more like you're like in the know and maybe like know a Native American that told you how to say it. Bigfoot.
Okay.
It sounds more in the know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's just me spitballing over here.
Okay. Well, my tribe calls Bigfoot Kichisabe. So
Well, we can't run all special. My tribe calls them Bigfoot.
okay.
I don't have a
Gotcha.
tribe. What'd you say it was? Sorry, I'm just being a dick again.
It's
About
Gichisabe,
the-
which Gichisabe. Or just Sabe sometimes.
Sabe?
Miss Sabe. Yeah, Sabe. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Pardon
That means
me.
something.
We're ladies. You just swore. I was just
What?
teasing.
Whatever.
What? I always cuss on this show.
I was just teasing. See, Tammy got it right away. She's even on leg.
Pardon me.
Pardon me. That just reminds me of the Grey
I was-
Poupon.
I'll
I
laugh
was
about
thinking
it
I
later.
don't have any Grey Poupon.
Pardon me.
You swore near Tardy Tammy. How dare you? How dare you?
Tardy Tammy, that's swearing.
Oh, look at take thee to a nunnery, Tardy Tammy.
Oh my goodness.
Filling up on
Tammy,
biscuits again.
I love the new nickname.
Filling up on biscuits again, Tardy Tammy, I see.
You know, this
Tagging
is how our
biscuits.
expeditions go. We laugh most of the time. There's no sneaking up on Bigfoot. We're like,
No.
they're
Oh, I
probably
think I need
coming
my
to
own
see
show.
what's so going on. What's the party action going on over here?
Bigfoot's peeling a squirrel like a banana. Like, what in the absolute hell is that coming
All
through?
right.
Somebody go invisible and go check that out. We need to get the heck out of here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, but we did. Okay, so on our expedition, it was the last night, and we were pretty much done with everything except photo shoots. And so we were doing photo shoots inside the woods outside of our camp. Well, we were in a rally camp, so it was like we could have like 75 people in our camp camping. So we had a really big space in our camp, but it was the middle of the week, so all the other rally camps were empty. So we had the whole place. It was just us, right? And so we're just inside the woods. We're doing photo shoots in the dark. And we were just getting done, and I start walking back to the RV, and I turn back and I look back again, and I saw something really tall, really dark, go really fast across the mowed lands behind the, a ways back off of behind the camper. I mean, we're talking, maybe at least 100 feet back. But, and I went really fast back into the woods. I'm like, girls, come on.
There he is. Get him.
Let's go. And so off we went. And nobody else even knew that what we were doing or that we had, well, they must have known we had left, but I don't think that they cared where we went, but they didn't know we were following something that we had seen. And so that was pretty fun.
Get him.
To see something. And then Tammy, being the one that she is, she goes, I'll walk closer to it.
I'm going to catch him.
She did. And she did. And I stood back taking
And I did.
So I got to tell you, Jenna and Tammy have been in a whole
I walked right up to where it was.
They're in a competition of who is the most fearless on the team. And I'm not the one. I'm not the most fearless. But they are in a competition to see who is the most fearless. And they both think it's them.
The more she works on herself and is doing her kickboxing and all of that, I think she's winning. She could probably kick the living tar out of anybody coming up. Now I'm the wild card. Just be careful.
Wiry. You don't know what she's capable of.
Exactly.
Tammy's doing jab cross teeps. Jab cross teep.
We're only sweet until you tick us off. Then watch out.
I have this weird bravery that comes on me when in the face of danger. When somebody is in danger that I care about, I go running towards it without any self-preservation thought whatsoever. I will throw myself in front of Jenna. And I there's been times where we thought the gas station was being robbed and Jenna was in there and I went, Jenna's in there. And I gotta go save her. What was I gonna do, really? Hindsight. What was I really gonna do? Really?
Don't do it to Jenna.
Yeah,
right.
But
sounds kind of like Simba. I laugh in the face of danger.
Right? I don't know what it is. It just comes over me. It happened one night at my office where I was in my office and it was at night and I'm in a strip mall. Office is above a strip mall, and people are in there. And at that time, our janitor was this older Black gentleman who was just fixing to retire. And I didn't even know his name, but he was a very nice man. And I heard him in the hallway yelling at somebody, what are you going to do? Rob me now? And I could hear there was several guys out there. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I ripped that door open and I was, what's going on out here? Do you need help? And all those guys stepped back because I come out there ready to fight, and I'm like, what was I going to really do? I don't know, but it just, an instinct, it just happened. And
you didn't even at least grab an open stapler?
Nope.
Nunchuck it a little bit?
Yeah. I after the fact, I go, what was I thinking? What was I really going to do about it? I have no idea. I don't know.
You got to do something.
What happened? What did the guys do after this? Were they like, no, we're okay, man?
Well, no. And then the guy goes, no, I was just teasing them, And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
good thing you checked. Then just open fire through the door.
Right?
I got you, Ricky.
I don't have a gun.
That was the DoorDash guys.
Right. It was DoorDash.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
I found a screen cap of that episode, by the way. So just to give you a preview.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Is that not hilarious?
Yes.
She's like, what ship were you on?
Wouldn't it be fun?
Yeah. That would be us.
Yeah.
It was great.
The fact that it's Gosling too. He's just, you can't see it here, but he can't breathe. He's laughing so hard.
I'm still watching it tonight. After our show.
Send us the link to watch it. I want to see it.
I'll send it. I'll send it. Don't you worry.
I'm waiting for it.
I'm ready for it.
I'll send it.
Thank
you. I have a question because I have another question for you, paranormal related, because I know you're psychic medium and you're into the you do the Reiki, which is I'm very interested in. But have you ever had any paranormal experiences other than or what kind of paranormal experiences have you had, and what are the most notable?
Do you have 10 hours or 2 weeks?
I do. I mean,
right.
I've got as much time as you have. What's your favorite ones? Give me a good example. I like to hear them.
Okay. Who wants to go first? Because my stories are really long.
You
I don't
guys
want
go
to keep you
ahead.
too. I don't want to keep you too
Yeah, I'll
late
go
if you have a
first.
timeline. But you,
We
Tammy will go first.
we do have a show in an hour, so we've got to be there for that too.
okay? Yeah, just 15 minutes, maybe, or 10 minutes, 5. I
Yes.
don't care.
Go ahead, Tammy.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell you my first one. My very first paranormal experience happened when I was 4 years old. And I was at my grandmother's house and I felt like I was beat and I could see something in the tree, but you couldn't see it unless it moved. It was clear. You know how like Predator is, but this is way before Predator movies ever came out.
Mhm.
And so I'm watching it and trying to see it when every time it moves, and all of a sudden it jumps out of the tree and starts running at me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 4 years old. I get up and I'm trying to open my grandmother's door and I couldn't get it to open. And finally I got it open and I got into the house. And as soon as I did, it slammed up against the glass door
Ooh.
and slammed the door. And my mom yells at me from the other room and she says, stop slamming the door. And I was like, it wasn't me, but what am I going to tell her? I didn't even know what it was. So I didn't know how to tell them what it was. But yeah, that was my very first paranormal experience. I was 4 years old.
Now, what do you think it was?
I think that it was a jinn.
Okay, it's like that is crazy. It had like mass, but it was
I didn't
invisible.
know for many, many years what it was. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right.
Yeah, just like the Predator movie. When I saw that
Yeah,
on the Predator movie, I was like, oh my gosh, it was an alien.
I should have
will
shot
tell
it.
you that there is a famous person on TV that shared with me a story about something very similar stalking him in the woods when he was younger. And I'll tell you off the air, Tammy, who that was, but very famous person from
Okay.
television, not on the Bigfoot show.
From the TV.
From the TV, yes, yes. But because it was said in, I can't publicly out that person. Anyway,
That's cool.
so I will tell you that as psychic mediums,
Right, but you can say
we
a
were
person.
working in the paranormal field prior to
Mhm.
doing Bigfoot. Okay, so I was working with paranormal investigators. I was helping people with haunted houses, clearing out spaces. Tammy also clears out spaces and banishes bad entities from places. People fly Tammy out to clear out their place sometimes. So
Really?
we good at that. We're very good at that.
Yep.
And to me,
Yep.
it got kind of boring because it was always dead people. And at first it was kind of
I see dead
exciting
people.
and something new here and there. And sometimes I would see visions of things and I didn't understand them, but Tammy did. So I'd like, Tammy, this is what I saw, and she knew what it meant. Because they were like symbols that I was unfamiliar with or something like that. So I mean, we worked really good together that way. Missing people's cases, which I don't like to do. Just saying, I don't like those. They're not fun. I don't like it.
Mhm.
I have found dead people, and it's never a good time. It's not fun.
No,
And I think we have
not sure
many
what
in
that
our
means,
soul
but
tribe
yeah.
that are mischievous and jokers. We are a soul tribe. Us girls are. We are like one soul in different bodies, different pieces of the same soul. And
I like the
believe
phrase
that
soul tribe.
100%. Huh?
Yeah, I like the phrase soul tribe.
Yeah.
Like how it feels.
It is
That's
very cool.
I
ultimate
call
camaraderie.
so people will call like soulmates, but
Mhm.
they think that they maybe only have one soulmate and it's a romantic thing. It's not. It's not. You have many different pieces of the same soul that are living in different bodies all at the same time and throughout time. And when you come together with those other pieces of your same soul, they're just another piece of the soul that you are. You feel stronger, you feel this connection. You sometimes recognize each other. The more consciously aware, spiritually aware that you are, the more aware of your other selves you will become. And so I love sitting in an airport watching myself walk by. Hi, me.
Hello. Hello.
And she really does
Hello.
too. She verbally says, "Look, Jenna, who does that look like?"
Who's that? Oh, it's me.
As she walks by.
Is there like a common feature trait that they have if they're part of your
they're all just gorgeous. No.
Oh,
Uh,
all the Kardashians?
yes.
yeah,
Soul
right,
Train.
right.
Ooh, I want to sing
No, I
Soul
mean when you
Train.
start seeing souls, and I call them soul slivers because we're from the same soul tree. So we're just slivers from the same soul tree. Um and so soul slivers is my term. If you Google search it, you're not going to find anything about it because that's my
Soul-
terminology. But soul slivers,
That's
because
my next podcast name.
soulmates makes people think of something romantic,
Yeah.
and it could be romantic, but I like to think of it as you're falling in love with yourself all around you. Isn't that
There
lovely?
you go. That is a nice way of looking at it. Good job, Jen.
And once you become aware that you are these others as well, you would never want to hurt anyone like that. Why would you hurt yourself?
Yeah, there's like a principle called it's like the principle of one. Like you're the same person living all the different lives at the same time, just like what you're saying.
Mhm.
So you have to treat everybody like you're treating yourself.
Right? Exactly.
Does that apply to animals though? Is that like are we all that
I
with
have
that with
felt
that
that
one?
connection.
Because we're delicious if that's the case.
I have felt some connections like that with animals. In some animals, yeah. I did not eat those animals, by the way.
Yeah. You only sniff them. Like, nope, that's me. Keep walking.
I did have a really neat experience one time when we were doing a Reiki circle. And it was in one of my students' houses, and she had this large fish tank. And so we're doing this Reiki circle, and all of a sudden I feel myself pulled into the fish tank, and I can feel the water going in and out of my gills and how fresh that felt. And I was like, I'm one with the fish. I was one with one of those fish. There was 2 fish in there. They were big Oscar fish. And afterwards, I was like, that was so cool. I was one with the fish. I was in the tank. I was breathing the water. It felt so good. And the lady whose house it was started laughing. And I'm like, why are you laughing? And she says, the name of that fish is Jen.
Oh,
She
wow.
said they had got it from somebody else. It was already named, and the name of the fish's name was Jen. And so I became one with the Jen fish.
It was a big Oscar.
You were the Jens.
Yeah.
Piranha's ugly cousin. The
I
old
was
Oscar
happy.
fish.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryder's back.
Fairy folk.
Yep. Fairy folk. Fairy folge. Folk.
Yeah. What about the fairy folk?
I don't know. I'm told about. I'm trying to go back on these comments to make sense of that. Told about timeline lifetime blendings.
Ooh, we should talk about parallel universes and timelines. Ooh. That's not Bigfoot at all.
Hey, you're the one with the show an hour, not me.
Right?
I have a whole pot of coffee.
I have my kickstart. You
Oh, yeah.
said it was caffeinated, so I brought the
Caffeinated Cryptid. Let me tell you what happened. I started doing I probably mentioned this before on your show, but I started doing a podcast with just anybody with a story, like a World War II dude. I had people who did fun, had a career in the cops, just any kind of story at all, just anything anybody would listen to remotely. And the Bigfoot and the paranormal people are the only ones that respond. And so I'm just sitting here, and I always have coffee beforehand anyway. I'm like, all I'm doing is sitting here caffeinating up and talking about cryptids. So I'm just going to call it the Caffeinated Cryptid with Bobby Dizzle.
There you go.
I like the name.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. And I got some poor non-English speaking person to draw me a logo for $5, causing inflation.
Oh, on Fiverr?
Did you take advantage of someone, Bobby?
That's
Dizzle?
enough money to
Fiverr.
buy them a new house, and yeah, I probably bought them a nice new hut.
Okay.
And some secondhand Super Bowl shirts. some 2016 Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl t-shirts.
Did you put them online?
No.
Dang it.
I was making a joke that they always get the secondhand or the losing team's t-shirts over the That's what I said. I probably bought them some 2017 Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl t-shirts. 60. Oh, what the hell? See a lot of old times in the woods. I had something else to ask you, but I forgot, so it's okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not the last you'll see of us. See of me.
Are you stalking us now, Bobby Dizzle?
No, but you're a fun guest, so I will pester every few months. I'll rear my ugly head.
Okay.
Be like an old school. Hello, nurse.
I love it.
Yep.
Love it.
I like all the fun ones. God, what was I going to ask? I had a good one. It's not even. It doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and. I sent you all that. I sent you all that clip, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
watching?
you're gonna laugh really, really hard because it is. Kate McKinnon really shows out. What ship were you on? All right.
Oh.
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap up so you can get ready for your show. It's been an amazing hour and 10 minutes. For Tammy, it's been about an hour and 5.
That's so sad.
She's doing the show.
I
from
can't wait to
time.
watch my funny facial expressions later.
Actually, some of them really lined up pretty well, Tammy, where like someone will say something and then you go like, yay, and you'll clap your hands.
I have low key been looking for a piece of tape. I'm like, where's a piece of tape or posted to put over your face because it's distracting me so bad.
Right? You want to watch
You're
her.
talking, but all of a sudden you're doing like this.
My face is distracting.
You haven't just the fact that you're having like a whole ass conversation, but you're not moving a muscle.
Right?
It's like this. The ventriloquist, Olympic level ventriloquism is what you were doing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I want to do like this. Like, when Tammy talks, what are you doing? I can't look at her because I can't. It's like whenever somebody does the. It's still happening.
She's still laughing.
It's like when somebody does that medium thing where they talk in the ghost voice.
Yeah.
You just do this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tammy, you should tell them about that
What?
app that we tried out at Squatchman's place. Tell them about that app.
Oh,
The app.
it's the Necrophonic app.
Necrophonic.
What do you want me to say?
And it was like
it's a Necrophonic app.
Is it the one that plays the
one-time
words?
fee, $9.99.
Yep.
What's the one? No,
there was like 8 of us out there, and it named us all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
That would be time to go back in the tent. Zip it up.
It didn't say Bobby. You weren't there, Bobby. But
that's too bad.
But it did say it didn't say any wrong names either. It said all the
It
right.
Didn't say
names.
Greg.
I think it said, "Where's Bobby? We want Bobby.
Bring me the dizzle.
Bring me the bee dizzle."
Let me tell you, I've had this.
Give me the bee dizzle.
Like I always think like self. I don't know why, but I'll daydream just randomly. I'll do stuff. Shower thoughts, and I think like, what if shower thoughts when your brain just fires? Just you think of like $1 million ideas and you forget them. Necrophonic. Okay. And I have like, what if we intercepted
Not
like
shower
what if?
beer.
Yeah, it's close. Or a shower orange. Like what if like my podcast gets out like one random thing and the aliens intercept the transmission and what they do is like one of my shows. Like just the lamest one I did. Like one of my first ones. I'm hello everybody, welcome to the podcast. and where I have like long pauses hoping they'll talk. And like they come back and like the Pentagon's like on the horn, everybody's scrambling the jets and the F-16 are flying and the head of the alien pops up. It's like, bring us the one you call Dizzle. and they come get me and I'm like, what? They yank me out of bed. I'm in a Jeep, still wearing like my pajamas, like the guy from Christmas Vacation when Cousin Eddie comes and yanks him out of his house. I'm like, what is this about? And I have to be like the ambassador to the aliens planet.
Oh, it's reminding me of that movie. What is it? Where they have the dumbest man alive become the president. Not saying you're the dumbest man alive. Yes, I love that movie, Idiocracy. It's kind of.
Why don't you use water? What, like from the toilet?
Right.
You have to water the plants. Like water from the toilet. Bronto has what plants need. It has electrolytes.
Oh, Lordy.
Has
Yeah.
Booker T. I love that movie. I wish it was fiction. I remember back when it wasn't real.
Right? It's becoming more and more.
Have you ever walked into Costco and not said, "I love you"? Welcome to
No.
Costco. I love
I've
you.
never said I love you to Costco.
That's from Idiocracy.
Which part?
At the beginning, when they go to Costco, and the
Oh.
Costco is a major city instead of a store.
That's
They walk
right.
in and there's like skyscrapers of Costco, and it's such a dumbed down time that "I love you" just means like, "What's up?" It's like, "Welcome to Costco. I love
I have
you."
to,
Welcome
it
to-
takes me some time to get into the movie, so I'll have to watch the beginning again. And actually, I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'll be so busy tonight.
Yep, you have to watch that Cecily Strong bit too.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Busy.
Oh yeah. Speaking of busy, I'll let you girls go. Thanks for being on the show. It's been a fun time, and again, watching Tammy catch up every few seconds has been way more distracting than it should have been. And I don't know if the show would have been better or worse if that hadn't happened. So I'm just going to let the universe play out as it may, and hope it's a good thing, and and not put resistance against it. It's supposed to happen. It's supposed to.
Hey, Bobby.
I will
Hey.
laugh
Going
at
to Randy's
myself
next
later.
What? Randy's. It's going to be 10 degrees up there in August.
In August?
hot
It's
in
really
August.
warm in August. It
The
doesn't say it's
glaciers are
getting
moving in
cold,
already.
right? We have to bring our ice picks.
Yeah,
Dang it.
it's going to be like cliffhanger.
I don't think we'd get
It
Tammy
does
there.
get down
if
to
it was
like
cold.
60s at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard of
that's
such.
already 50 something at night.
Sorcery.
Yes.
50
I
degrees.
love it.
At
My
night, it's
refrigerator's
already 50 at
75.
night.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hot. Okay, shit.
Wow.
I'm
It
hurting.
is
I'm chafed.
currently- It is 83
You're in Virginia.
degrees right now.
You're in Virginia though.
That's right.
You're not. You're kind of just
That's
like me. You're out there by the Nags
I
Head.
moved here on purpose. I'm going to
And
the Outer
where?
Banks this weekend. From
It's 80 here.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Oh,
Really?
Outer
Holy
Banks.
shit.
Outer Banks.
Yes. Outer Banks for a whole week.
What?
Yep.
I could go there right now and hang out. Last time I was there, I
Well-
paddled and saw a dead bear. So I'll keep it. I like the Outer Banks.
It's
There you
70
go.
degrees right now. That's pretty warm.
Pretty. Okay.
Low of 50.
Now you're just insulting people.
I just want to go back to Texas.
70 degrees. Oh, it's hot. 70.
70 is my comfort zone.
We call
70.
70 in Alabama. Merry Christmas. Time to
Oh
open the-
no! I
Time to
get
open
it.
your presents. It's 70.
No.
Hope everybody got their winter coats out. It's 68.
That's so bad. But you know what? You're right. And I'm sorry, but there's different colds.
Yeah.
There's a Minnesota
sorry.
cold.
No. She goes
Yes.
she leaves Fargo, North Dakota, and she goes to Texas. And she's like, I'm so cold. I'm like, have you forgotten who you are?
Yes. I'm now a Texan. I've been going to Texas for since I was like 3-4 years old. So I acclimate quickly. And now I just don't want to acclimate back to North Dakota and Minnesota.
You have to tell the kids to spray with your peppermint scented deep woods off for
I
Christmas
never
morning.
want to
Right.
be acclimated to Minnesota.
I know, right? It's just cold.
One of my dreams is to go
I never want to
grizzly
go back.
bear hunting
I
in
never want to
Alaska.
have to spend a whole winter there. No.
What'd you say, Bobby?
I said one of my non-career goals is to go grizzly bear hunting in Alaska, and so it's one of. I think it'd be kind of cold because I deer hunt here and it gets down to like 10 degrees at the coldest, but I can't imagine Alaska cold.
Jen, let's have him fly down in the winter. Bring him out to where the garbage bins are. We can do a little stakeout. He can be like what, 5 feet, 10 feet from the bear. You won't even have to
You
shoot
could be
him.
2 feet from the bear.
I was literally a
feet.
foot.
I've never experienced that
feed
kind of
the bear.
winter before.
You can be the bear. That's funny.
Be the bear. Actually, Jenna was scared of bears, and so we did a bear immersion weekend where we spent the weekend with the bears.
Yep.
And Jenna's not scared of bears anymore.
Yeah, but I don't have any proof or evidence because Jen took a picture of the bear with my arm. That's all she got was my arm. I was like, "Damn it!" Sorry, I swore.
Yes, I wasn't ready.
Oh my! Well, it was a bear, Jen. I was walking as slow as I could with the. I had opened up a Twinkie or a donut or something. I had taken it
Speedy
out of its
Gonzalez over
package.
there.
Yeah. Oh no, I was so slow. I was like in my mind, I was going, "Wow, Jenna, you are walking so slow." That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like you're so slow. You're just keeping nice slow. And yeah, I don't know. I guess Jen thinks it was pretty fast, but I literally went to go drop like the Twinkie in the garbage thing, and all of a sudden, as I'm dropping it in, a huge bear pops out of the garbage bin, and I'm like, and I quick turn around, and I'm like, not so slow anymore on the way back. And I was so excited. I thought, finally, I've got something amazing to show people. Yeah, I watched it. The minute I got in there, I was like, Jen, turn it on, turn it on.
Oh,
Turn
we
it
got
on.
to take Jason there
Yes, we
next month.
will.
Let's get Jason there.
But needless to say, all she got was my arm. I was so disappointed.
We're gonna try this again next month, Jenna, and
We'll
do
do.
it with Jason's camera.
Let's make Jason do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck
We'll
yeah.
get Twinkies.
Jason won't be scared. He's an extreme animal photographer.
Yeah, but if you can't see the bear and it pops out of a thing and yeah.
His facial
What if he
expressions
did
would
do
be
it?
epic.
Yes, they would.
What if he did do a show from inside Randy's house with Randy? Like
Randy
we all
doesn't
did,
have
like
very good internet. Oh my gosh, there's no internet outside. None.
he's got inside's pretty good. I mean, you can go in the
Okay.
house.
In the house? I never went in
Yeah.
the house.
Go
But
in
when
the
we
house.
were in the camper, if I sat
Yeah,
at
the
the table, I could connect to Randy's
Yeah,
internet
he said
in
you're
the
doing.
house. But if I walked like 1 foot, I didn't have internet anymore.
Yeah, I didn't imagine it was the most technical, advanced place on the planet.
But
Yeah.
sure is beautiful.
No cell service at all.
Ah,
Yeah, no cell service. It was awful. We had to walk up the hill to get that.
And you kept getting
So-
attacked by cryptids left and right, which is
I
not
s-
horrible.
Yes, please.
I want to see more. You know, from the little time we spent there, I want to see more. It's so exciting. And you know, I went out with Randy out in the middle of the woods, and it was just him and I, and it was a pretty good hike. And we were looking around, and every time I looked up, it seemed like I was seeing symbols, like not only the X's, I was seeing things that I was pointing out to Randy that he had never even seen before, which I was surprised because he goes out there like every day. And I mean, every time you looked up, and this was vast. It was beautiful. There's so much to see there. I can't wait.
Booking flights right now.
Ah, wouldn't that be awesome?
I'll see you there.
I'll meet you at Randy's house with the Australian accent for some reason. Hello.
Yeah,
Why are you talking like that?
because I can.
Well, I'm on another country. I don't know where I'm at. It's cold.
Right.
It's 43 in August. It's 43 in August. People are crazy.
Ah,
No
I
wonder you're
love
so
your humor.
passive aggressive.
ah.
Okay, I'm really landing the plane this time because this could go another 2 hours, and I'm not.
All right, we
I'm
gotta
not
go.
gonna.
'cause we got another show to get ready for.
Ooh.
have
Yep,
to
we gotta
retouch
go.
our makeup.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good time. Tammy, see you in a couple of minutes.
Bye, guys.
Peace out. Thanks for watching. Till next time.